This power station site in North Rhine-Westphalia is currently one of the biggest and most exciting construction sites in the region. We visited it for ourselves and were lucky enough to see Germany's biggest demolition excavator hard at work. With the advancing energy transition, Germany is repositioning its energy production in many areas. Power station operators are currently going through a regeneration process that is set to last several decades. Old stations, like this one in Lünen, just to the north of Dortmund, are directly concerned by the German Act on the phase-out of coal-fired power plants. The station, which was originally commissioned in 1938, supplied an aluminium plant, and later the main supply for Deutsche Bahn. After it was decommissioned in 2018, work started on the incredibly ambitious revitalization project. Almost all the work was put in the hands of the Hagedorn Group. The group has almost 1,700 employees and is one of Germany's top full-service providers in the areas of excavation, disposal, foundation work and land revitalization. Skills from all the group's areas of expertise were needed for the demolition of the power station in Lünen. To get the 37-hectare site redeveloped as quickly as possible, they bought it, along with all the installations, buildings and of course the risks and challenges that came with it, from the station operator without further ado. Work has been in full swing since February 2020. Sometimes there can be as many as 200 workers on site at once. There are also 30 large construction machines, mainly heavy-duty excavators weighing over 20 tons, in use. Heavy-duty demolition excavators, like this CAT 390 Fi, were specially developed for these types of demolition jobs, with operating weights of around 100 tons. However, as an ultra-high-reach excavator, the KMC 1600S is in a league of its own. Depending on the tool and the configuration of the boom, it can easily weigh in at over 250 tons. The counterweight in the back alone weighs 40 tons. The two track frames weigh a whopping 22 tons each. This demolition giant was built by Gläser, a company based near Ravensburg. 9 heavy goods vehicles were needed to transport this colossus the 730 kilometers from Ravensburg to Lünen. Hagedorn and Gläser have been working closely together for many years and developed the KMC 1600S based on the requirements of large projects like this. So how much was invested in this machine? Almost 5 million euros. One of the major strengths that make this 771 horsepower excavator stand out on a construction site is its high breakout force. In this case, the working height is around 30 meters. This comparably low working height means that 8 or even 12-ton scrap shears can be attached to the excavator. These shears can be used to cut up steel beams that are up to 1 meter thick. The boom can easily be extended to a dizzying 60 meters in several stages. The operator, Peter, has been working at Hagedorn for several years. He was involved in the development of this large machine from the very beginning, and along with several other colleagues, has been specially trained in how to use it. However, operating the KMC 1600S, whose modified superstructure and cab come from a Hitachi excavator, is not the biggest challenge that the operators face. In fact, they must have a thorough knowledge of the statics of the building to be demolished. Structural elements weighing several tons must first be weakened in a targeted way before being demolished in a controlled manner. Peter can see the load torque, pressure monitoring for the hydraulic cylinders, and the range monitoring on the monitor. Only the employees of Deutsche Sprengunion, a German company specializing in explosives and a member of the Hagedorn Group, can demolish structures any quicker. Just a week before our shoot, the biggest blast on the power station site was carried out. Almost half a ton of explosives were used to demolish the 110-meter cooling tower, a 70-meter boiler house, and a 230-meter chimney. These images show how the impressive chimney, which was the largest in Europe when it was built in the mid-60s, was brought down in a controlled way. Sometimes up to 10 excavators at a time can be seen pottering around the mountain of steel and concrete left behind. The tasks are clearly assigned here. The new Liebherr 980 only joined the fleet a few days ago. Torsten is responsible for breaking up the inside of the boiler and engine house with the 100-ton excavator with 544 horsepower. Around 10,000 tons of steel that surrounded the former steam generator and turbines needs to be broken down into more manageable-sized pieces. Some structural elements are so big that they have to be moved to the edge of the construction site first. The recycling process for the scrap starts here. Several employees are working here using some heavy-duty equipment to break down the steel. The work is being coordinated by Tim and Antonio, an experienced site foreman, as well as several others. Tim had a commercial internship at Hagedorn and now helps the teams outside on construction sites. The teams on site wouldn't be able to get their job done without their welding torches. Around 30,000 tons of scrap, 150,000 tons of building rubble, and 33,000 tons of waste was produced during the demolition of the power station. The Hagedorn team took care of almost everything, from the planning of the project to the execution and even the modelling of the new site. Trainees, construction machine operators, foremen, construction engineers and architects are all involved in this project. In one of the workshops set up on site, small and big problems are solved by a team of talented welders and metalworkers. All Hagedorn employees have access to a range of training and further education opportunities at the company's own academy. The Hagedorn Group has already been recognized as a top employer twice. A range of open positions are listed on the Hagedorn website. Now back to the KMC 1600S. Just like all the other excavators in the Hagedorn fleet, the KMC is also equipped with an oil-quick coupler system. Thanks to this, implements, which can sometimes cost as much as €250,000, can be changed quickly and without the operator even having to get down from the cab. The hydraulic output is an enormous 1,000 litres per minute. Peter has a construction helper to support him with his work. The helper takes on the role of flagman and takes care of the spray water supply. With the KMC 1600S, Hagedorn now has a whole new range of possibilities when it comes to moving forwards with demolition projects, both in terms of performance and occupational safety. Thanks to the different boom configurations, the machine can always be positioned at a safe distance. After more than a year of demolition and renovation work, the work on the foundations can finally begin. We'll show you the next stages of the project in part 2. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to make sure that you don't miss any of our videos. You can also find Hagedorn on YouTube and Instagram.